database in Diaspora Integrated Information Management System, DIMS. We shall leverage ICT and facilitate incentives to register Diaspora. We shall negotiate strategic partnership on Diaspora jobs, establish and operationalize Diaspora desk or offices in some selected missions. We shall facilitate mobile consular services to provide more services to our diasporians. We shall take high-level consular visits. Further, we shall facilitate evacuation of Kenyans in case of extreme circumstances and integrate returnees to the society. This is creating awareness and advising on available opportunities in Kenya. Due to distress cases experience, we shall be offering counseling and mental health services, both outside and within Kenya. We shall establish and operationalize the diaspora welfare and emergency program. And lastly, under that KLA, we shall establish and manage safe houses in some selected missions. Under KLA 2, which is savings investment remittances, we shall have engagement with key stakeholders on establishment of diaspora-facing investment products. We shall engage key stakeholders in the financial sector to facilitate elimination of bottlenecks in remittances and facilitate establishment and operationalization of diaspora circles abroad. We shall provide investment opportunities in the counties and hold county investment forums so that we identify the kind of investment that our diasporians can invest in. We shall have conferences and expos to mobilize diaspora investment. And lastly, under that KIA, we shall do busting on taxation or double taxation of diasporians. Under KIA 3, which is the Diaspora Skills Enterprise Technology Transfer, we shall initiate negotiation and signing of BADs and MOUs. There's another strategy on mapping diaspora transferable skills and technologies for adoption in Kenya. We shall seek international job opportunities and advertise in the Kazi Njogu portal, an online application. We shall have beholding skills and technology transfer exchange fora to build a skills and technology profile that we can use. Then we shall map out the Kenyan diaspora in different regions according to their parameters. Then we shall create channels for skills, expertise, and technology transfer back to Kenya. We shall identify, negotiate, and facilitate mutually recognized codifications where we are taking our jobs. Develop a database for diaspora expertise so that we know where our expertise are. We shall do technology and transfer, skill transfer into the country. Conduct job fairs across counties in collaboration with other MDAs. The fourth KLA is diaspora engagement and partnership. Under this, we shall hold diaspora conferences and expos, have annual diaspora excellence awards. We shall try to establish Kenya House facility centers abroad and participate in sports, arts, music events in diaspora, and have engagement with the diaspora engagement as part of the engagement. Then we shall engage diaspora during official visits, hold virtual town hall or webinars to get more participation of in the mission. We shall have meetings with the regional deans. And lastly, under that, we shall promote patriotism and social cohesion through prominent Kenyans who are living outside there. On the last KID, which is policy, legal, and institutional framework, the first stage is that we want to establish or operationalize our own saga, which is Diaspora Policeman Agency, review or finalize the Kenya Diaspora Police 2014. After doing that, we shall develop a diaspora bill in pursuit to be an act. Then we shall facilitate establishment of a diaspora summit in the regions, and we shall incorporate the centric incentives in governance and national development. Who are supposed to implement this program? Under the able leadership of our Prime Secretary and the Principal Secretary, we have two directorates. This is Diaspora Welfare and Rights and Diaspora Investments and Entrepreneurship Directorate. Under that, we have two divisions who will be implementing. To facilitate this technical department, we have the support side, who will be the engine or who will be facilitating the technical to implement the technical mandates. These are the administration, HR, finance, those are the support division to facilitate the technical departments. In terms of implementation, the plan will be implementation as per the implementation matrix, and this will be done through annual work plans, procurement plans, and contracts. In terms of thematic areas, there's leadership to that, and on financial stewardship, we shall have a finance unit being leading. On service delivery, we shall have communication unit, while commandate will be under the technical directorate. And implementation of directives, it is under administration, where affirmative action and in procurement supposed to be handled by supply chain management, and lastly, cross-cutting issues will be dealt by administrative unit. On the resource requirement, we have divided that one in terms of 4 KRAs, and you can see the first year 2023, the budget is low, but it keeps on implementing because 2023-24, the structure was not well established, but now we have a fully-fledged structure. And some of the figures you can see there, we should not be relying entirely on exchequer, but from development by partners and private sector. We shall not be relying purely from exchequer, but we shall be seeking partnership with development partners and other private sectors. On monitoring, we shall do monitoring and reporting on the progress on an annual basis, backed by the quarterly reports. We shall measure this through the KPIs as indicated in the matrix for both for efficiency, effectiveness, and sustainability of the whole program. And thank you, Max, at the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Makofi, tafadhali, makofi. Thank you very much, Director Daniel Mwaura. Daniel Mwaura is our head of planning, and he has taken us through, I'm sure the people who had questions, as to what it is that we do. Your Excellency, Dr. Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, our Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, my Principal Secretary, Ms. Roseline Njogu, other Principal Secretaries present, Honorable Lydia Haiger, the Chairman, Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers Committee of the National Assembly, our representative, the Vice Chair of the Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee of the National Assembly, Major Retired Abdullahi Bashir Sheikh, Dean of the Diplomatic Corps and Ambassador of Eritrea to Kenya, Mr. Beyene Rusom, Excellencies, our dear diaspora who are present here, distinguished guests, Ladies and gentlemen, and the people who are watching us online, we are live. Thank you so much for the diaspora who have joined. We have a large number of diaspora who have joined to celebrate with us as we launch our strategic plan. So we have gone through the hard bit, which is the writing and the reading of it. We move on to the maybe more exciting bit, which is the speaking bit. And it is my greatest pleasure to welcome Mr. Laban Njuguna. He is a stout Kenyan diaspora based in the US. Please be making your way. And he has come to help us launch the strategic plan. And we are very excited to have you with us, Mr. Njuguna. Karibu sana, karibu sana. Makofi tafadhali.
Your Excellency Prime CS and my fellow Old Cambrian, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, PS Roseline Njogu, PS Aurelia, Excellency members of the Diplomatic Corps present, members of the National Assembly led by Honorable Haika, and the Deputy member of the Defense Committee, my fellow diasporans, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Laban Njuguna. I'm a husband, a father of 4, an entrepreneur, a proud Kenyan American, and a resident of the great state of Nebraska. Kenya is the country of my birth, but the USA is now my home and has been for the last 25 years. I want to quickly talk about a couple of things. One, the SDDA and how proud we as the Kenyan diaspora are of this brand new State Department. And 2, the opportunities that Kenya misses out on by not having more brick and mortar consulates in the USA. I would like to thank His Excellency the President and the Kenya Kwanza government for setting up this much needed SDDA. We diasporans had been asking for this department for quite a while, and it finally happened with this administration, so thank you. If there is a move that this government made from the very outset that makes sense and will pay dividends to Kenya and Kenyans for a long time to come, is this department. I would also like to thank PS Njogu and her very able staff for understanding the diaspora, our collective and unique needs, articulating them effectively, actively engaging with us out there to come up with solutions, making us feel heard, and representing us well world over and at home. As we launch this strategic plan, I would like to emphasize that the diaspora is the new goose that lays the golden egg. And though we appreciate the financial challenges that Kenya is going through, this is not the time to stifle the growth of SDDA by choking it of resources. This strategic blueprint will result to naught if the SDDA cannot fulfill its mandate due to financial constraints. His Excellency, I appeal to you, Your Excellency, and His Excellency the President to prioritize the diaspora and their issues. We insist that this young State Department should not be interfered with or its leadership changed. Honorable Haika and Honorable Sheikh, tafadhali, you are the ones that oversight and allocate resources. Bora musiguze diaspora. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to appeal to the government of Kenya through Your Excellency to let you know that the state of Nebraska offered land to the government of Kenya to set up a consulate. As you are aware, Kenya has an embassy in DC, a consulate in California, and the UN mission in New York. This, to me and to many other diasporans, does not even begin to serve the needs of the diasporans in the US effectively. but also the missed opportunities to appeal and attract investors and like-minded entities that would want to set up shop in East Africa or the greater sub-Saharan Africa. We can make Kenya the jump-off point to the region. The Midwest Consulate, were it to be set up, would cover the Midwest, the Plains, part of the Dakotas, part of the South, part of the Rockies, and part of Appalachia. It would act as the first port of call for diasporans, American citizens, and investors who are otherwise not served or appealed to with the opportunities that Kenya has for trade, business, cultural exchanges, academia, and research. The Midwest has a population of about 100 million people and a GDP of $5 to $7 trillion. And it would pair well with Kenya because the majority of the Midwest economy is powered by manufacturing and agriculture. We need to be present here as no other sub-Saharan African country is. This consulate would be a strategic investment that would pay dividends to Kenya for a long time to come. Your Excellency, I strongly suggest that this is followed up and a consulate is set up. Finally, I want to take this opportunity to thank God and to say thank you to all my fellow diasporans for contributing to and building this great nation of ours. Kenya needs each and every one of us, and we need Kenya. We will go far if we do it together. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Our diaspora do not live up in the air. They live in different jurisdictions. And it is my greatest honor now to welcome Ambassador Bayene Rusom, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of the State of Eritrea and the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, to tell us something about our diaspora and how good they have behaved out there. Karibu sana.
You can't see how much I have spoiled my first draft when I hear things here. Your Excellency, Honorable Mudavadi, AGH Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. I will not name all those people who are here, but I will call Madam Roseline Njogu, the PS of the Diaspora and the Minister of the Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, and also a lady who has invited me yesterday, and I thank you for telling me only yesterday that I have remarks to make here. Excellencies, dear ambassadors and colleagues, all the high officials of the government of Kenya, including my friend Ambassador Barina, welcome back to your country from the diaspora. It's an honor for me, as the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, accredited to the Republic of Kenya, to state a few remarks on the launch of the State Department for Diaspora Affairs Strategic Plan 2023 to 2027. It's been long since the human capital, whether residing in or outside, is regarded as the greatest asset of a country that a country can have. And this is very true for Kenya, as I have witnessed it for several years. And it is true that because of the diaspora of Kenya, like my dear brother here, the American Kenyan, or the Kenyan American Mr. Njogu, who really still sounds like Kenyan, not American. Because of them, Kenya has a great respect among the nations of the world because of its diaspora. So it's not only the remittances that Kenya get, which has reached about 4,000 million, almost tripled what it has been since 2018, which is a great asset, but because of the Kenyan diaspora, with all their skills, with all their good behaviors, and with all their respect to Kenya, is the most important. Diaspora population formation can be attributed to vast economic, political, and environmental and technological push and pull factors. While history has shown that migration is inevitable, the key factor lies on how to turn it to a mutual benefit partnership. How do we make them feel Kenyans while they are born outside is the most important factor, because those who have gone as Kenyans, it's okay, but about their offspring, their children and their grandchildren, how do we make feel them Kenyans or Africans? It is the work of the home country to make them feel that they are Africans, that they are Kenyans, that they are Eritreans, that they are Egyptians, Ethiopians, Ghanaians, and so on. This is the most important work of the home country. Because we here are Kenyans, and those people who are outside are our diaspora. And the diaspora outside, for them, the country is their homeland, and they feel Kenyans. They don't call themselves diaspora. How do we make them congruent, the diaspora and the one who is citizen in home country? I think it's one of the most important work of Madam Roseline. Having a mutually beneficial relationship between a country and its diaspora population, if managed efficiently, can be directed towards significant contribution and changes in the country of origin, economy, and development. Even though diaspora can be defined by the main reasons they leave their country, their homeland, mostly it is said for greener pasture, they can also be identified by one universal characteristic of having a quest for maintaining strong and continuous ties and connectivity to the country of origin for their welfare and return. So it's up to the policy of the country of origin to draw and implement a roadmap for smooth relationship. Only one page remaining. Countries have to play a pivotal role in maximizing the significant contribution of the diaspora by meeting their needs and the expectations through provision of a strong mechanism of consular, legal, and counseling services by missions abroad. I think the man from Nebraska has said it. He wants these services in his homeland, Nebraska, so that he feels Kenyan and the people around there. Isn't it true? Okay. Thank you for confirming. Diaspora homecoming events. Okay. Facilitation of visas for short-term visitors and investment for descendants who have not yet acquired citizenship, and also facility for dual citizenship status are some of the key issues that are of great concern to the diaspora. Diaspora homecoming events and outreach and awareness campaigns are also proven to strengthen such mutual benefit relationship between a country and its diaspora population, in addition to facilitating a smooth reintegration program for returnees. To accomplish such noble tasks, countries are often faced with challenges and difficulties such as absence of soundable legislation and policy framework, budget constraint, slow economic growth, and lack of integrated database, among others. I don't think Kenya faces these challenges. They do it efficiently. I think Madam Roseline is nodding her hair. Nonetheless, fostering a strong relationship with the diaspora population of a country is a great milestone in leveraging an immense potential of diaspora towards meaningful contribution in a country's development path. While commending the commitment of the Ministry of Foreign Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Kenya in enhancing the welfare and engagement of Kenyan diaspora for a competitive and prosperous Kenya, I would like to take this opportunity to extend mine and the entire community of the diplomatic corps wish for a successful launch of the State Department for Diaspora Affairs Strategic Plan 2023-2027. I thank you.
Thank you, Excellency, and once again, apologies in our excitement to launch. We forgot some of the critical factors, and thank you very much. Now, we have a large number of the diplomatic corps. PS, I don't know if we are out of time or if we can have them introduce themselves. Would that be in order, PCS? Okay, so we'll just have the microphone go around because we want to acknowledge your presence.
Okay. My name is Damti Bediakon Asari, the High Commissioner of Ghana. Thank you.
My name is Ambassador Damakat Nafu, Deputy Head Mission of Ethiopia Embassy.
My name is Dr. Khalid Al-Kathiri, Legion of Arab State Ambassador.
Good morning, William MacDonald, High Commissioner for Barbados.
Good morning, Subutai Yüksel, Turkish Ambassador.
Morning, Wael Nasruddin Ataya, the Egyptian Ambassador.
I'm Bayana Russom, Ambassador of Eritrea. I want to mention Eritrea. I want to mention my name and to pronounce correctly Bayana Russom.
Good morning, Maragot Jane Matugon, Ambassador of Thailand. Thank you.
Good morning, Pavel Zatkin, Ambassador of Belarus to Kenya.
Good morning, Suhail Awan, Strategic Partnership Advisor, UNHCR. I'm representing UN.
Very good morning. I'm Ruzaimi, High Commissioner of Malaysia.
Good morning, Oleg Kravchenko, Russian Federation, Judge d'Affaires.
Good morning, Ana Rocha, Ambassador of Portugal.
Good morning, my name is Anwar Ben Yusuf, Ambassador of Tunisia.
Good evening, it's already 12. My name is Nasra Al-Hashmi, Ambassador of Sultanate of Oman to Kenya. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Miroslav Goj, Ambassador of Poland.
Good afternoon, my name is Luyando Sichula, Charge d'Affaires, Zambia.
David Chibango Tisheku, Chargé d'Affaires of the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Winnipeg Moyo, the Ambassador of Zimbabwe to Kenya.
Monsignor Luciano Nabanca, Chargé d'Affaires of the Apostolic Nuncio of the Vatican Embassy.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. Abbas Jabbarov, Deputy Ambassador of Azerbaijan.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. Sharif Faisal, Head of Mission, International Organization for Migration, IOM, Kenya.
Good afternoon. My name is Abdullah Al-Fahad, Charge d'Affaires, State of Kuwait.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Aziz, Head of Consular of Embassy of Qatar.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. My name is Don VSJ, First Council Rwanda High Commission, representing my commissioner is out of the Official Mission. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sanyi from Embassy of Ethiopia. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. Rosana Josue, Deputy of the Embassy of the Philippines in Nairobi.
Good afternoon. My name is Boumediene Mai. I'm the Ambassador of Algeria.
Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. Mary Munyao, Country Manager, African Development Bank.
Good afternoon. My name is Mnino Johannes Masangu, High Commissioner of South Africa to Kenya. Thank you.
Jibril Ibrahim Abdullah, Somali Ambassador.
Jorge Rosas, Chair d'Affaires of Mexico.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. Aissatou Aminata Bundu, High Commissioner of Sierra Leone to Kenya.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. This is Ali Gholampour, the Ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Iran to Kenya.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. This is Dr. Akram, Head of Mission of Iraq.
Good afternoon, Deputy Ambassador of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Good afternoon. I am Kalista Mutarika, Malawi High Commissioner to Kenya. Thank you.
Hello, Alexandre Podo, Deputy Head at the French Embassy.
Good afternoon. My name is Nongo Jen, Ambassador of Senegal to Kenya.
Good morning, Katerina Joufala-Ligdonova, the Ambassador of Slovakia to Kenya.
Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. Rebecca Dixon from the British High Commission.
Good morning, Alexander Fielay, Deputy Head of the German Embassy.
Good afternoon, Silvio Albuquerque, Ambassador of Brazil to Kenya.
Good afternoon, Cynthia Malville, Deputy Head of Mission of Argentina.
Good afternoon, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Katrina Inglesby, the Ambassador of Ireland.
Good afternoon, Andrei Shimek. I'm the Deputy Head of Mission of the Delegation of the European Union to Kenya.
Thank you very much, Excellencies. Could we please give them a round of applause? Thank you very much for joining us. It's now my pleasure to welcome Major Retired Honorable Abdullah Bashir Sheikh, the Vice Chair of the Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee of the National Assembly of Kenya. Karibu sana. Makofi tafadhali tukimkaribisha.
Thank you very much. As has been said, my name is Major Retired Bashir Abdullahi Sheikh, the Vice Chair of the Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee of the National Assembly. His Excellency Dr. Mudavadi, EGH Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Ms. Roseline Njogu, Cabinet Secretary, State Department for Diaspora Affairs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to be part of this momentous occasion as we officially launch the State Department for Diaspora Affairs Strategic Plan for 2023-2027. This launch represents a significant milestone in acknowledging the immense contribution of Kenyans abroad to the growth and development of our nation, Kenya. There are over 3 million Kenyans living across the globe, forming a vibrant and essential part of the national identity. Beyond remittances, which have remained a lifeline for many households and our economy, the diaspora plays a pivotal role in business, innovation, and cultural heritage, not forgetting the respect that Kenya earns from them. The decision to elevate the Diaspora Affairs portfolio from a directorate within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to a fully fledged State Department through Executive Order Number 1 and 2 of 2023 was indeed timely and commendable. The move underscored the government's commitment to engaging the diaspora meaningfully while promoting their rights and values. The State Department has been tasked with a broad and essential mandate. This includes promoting continuous dialogue and engagement with Kenyans abroad, increasing diaspora investments and remittances, ensuring their protection and rights, facilitating job placements, enabling technology transfer, and integrating the diaspora into the national development agenda. Moreover, it is tasked with promoting diaspora participation in democratic processes, incentivizing remittances, implementing labor migration policy and the global labor strategy, and strengthening the policy, legal, and institutional frameworks governing diaspora affairs. The launch of this strategic plan signals a deliberate and structural approach to ensuring that our diaspora is recognized as a key stakeholder in Kenya's political economy and social development. The plan has been crafted in alignment with the Constitution of Kenya, Kenya Vision 2030, the fourth medium-term plan, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda BETTER, the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, Africa Union Agenda 2063, the East African Community Vision 2050, and other relevant policies. As stakeholders, the Parliament, and particularly the National Assembly's Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations, we recognize the vital role of the department that it's going to play going forward. We commend the State Department for its foresight and dedication in crafting this comprehensive roadmap for the next 4 years. The plan addresses key issues such as regional conflicts, human trafficking, the plight of Kenyan migrant workers, and the need to harness the skills and expertise of the Kenyan diaspora. It also highlights challenges such as the trust deficit in government, high transaction costs of remittances, and the need for a more robust policy framework. To this end, strategic plan outlines specific goals to promote diaspora rights, champion their welfare, promote dialogue and participation in national development, and increase diaspora savings and investments. It is our responsibility as Parliament, through the National Assembly's Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations, to support the realization of these goals. We will continue to formulate diaspora-responsive legislation, ensure the allocation of sufficient funds, and oversee the prudent utilization of these resources. Additionally, we will work towards raising the awareness of the issues affecting Kenyans abroad and strengthening the linkages between Parliament and the diaspora. In closing remarks, I congratulate the State Department for Diaspora Affairs for this tremendous achievement, and I look forward to the successful implementation of the strategic plan. Together, let us ensure that the Kenyan diaspora is not only recognized but also empowered to contribute fully to the prosperity of our nation. As a committee, we have walked the talk with this department. Every time they come before us, we only increase their fundings. We never decrease. And we will now continue to ensure that the same is done. We will allocate more funds, and we ensure that the funds are also prudently utilized. Thank you very much.
Very much, Mheshimiwa. Makofi tafadhali. I was listening very keenly to hear that we are going to open Nebraska. I am sure in the next speech we shall hear how we are going to open Nebraska. It is my distinct pleasure now to invite Honorable Lydia Haika, the Chairperson, Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers Committee of the National Assembly, our dear Oversight Committee, whom we love very dearly and we work with them very well. Thank you and welcome. Makofi tafadhali.
Thank you very much. Bwana Prime Cabinet Secretary and the CS for Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, PSS, PS Njogu and Aurelia, distinguished guests, representative of diaspora community, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This committee, the Committee of Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers Affairs, is a new committee as well. It's a committee that we formed in the 12th Parliament when we changed our standing orders so that we can have this committee in place. So it is a new committee as well as the new State Department of Diaspora. It is my honor to join you today in this important event the launch of State Department for Diaspora Affairs Strategic Plan 2023-2027. Today marks a significant milestone in the collective effort to recognize the support and empower our diaspora and migrant workers around the world. Our country has a long history of migration. Many of our brothers and sisters have traveled far and wide, seeking better opportunities for themselves and their families. They have contributed greatly to development of not only their host countries, but also our nation. Through remittances, investments, and sharing of knowledge and skills, it is no secret that diaspora community plays a vital role in our economy and State Department to facilitate the affairs of diaspora community. About 2 years after the establishment of the State Department, we are now seeing the fruits. While I have not yet had the opportunity to go through the details of the strategic plan, I trust that it will reflect the aspiration and the need of our diasporians. I understand that a key part of this plan will focus on improving the welfare of our migrant workers. Many of them face difficult conditions, including unfair treatment, lack of access to basic services, and at times, exploitation. This plan should ensure that such issues are not only addressed, but resolved in a way that guarantees the dignity and safety of every citizen working abroad. Equally important, the plan should aim to strengthen ties between the diaspora and the homeland. This is more than just economies. It is about building a sense of community and belonging. Our diaspora is an integral part of who we are as a nation, and their talents, skills, and ideas can help grow in a way that we cannot achieve alone. Through initiatives outlined in this plan, we hope to deepen our engagement with our diaspora so that they continue to feel connected and proud of their roots. As we move forward, collaboration will be key. The success of this plan will depend on the efforts of various government agencies, private sectors, players, and of course, the diasporas themselves. We must work together to ensure the goals we set today are achievable and that the benefits are for all. I would like to take this moment to extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone who has contributed to this great strategic plan. I look forward to reading it and more details and seeing how we can all play part in bringing it to life. I am confident that this plan will lay a strong foundation for the future of our diaspora affairs and migrant workers, and I am excited about what we will achieve together in the coming years. In conclusion, let us continue to support our diasporas, not only for their invaluable contributions to our country, but also because they are an essential part of what we are. Together we can build a future where no matter where one goes, they remain part of the larger, stronger community in Kenya. Thank you for inviting my committee and by extension the National Assembly, and I wish us all success as we embark on this important journey with the Diaspora Affairs Strategic Plan 2023 and to 2027. Thank you very much, and I am glad that I'm part of this. Thank you.
Asante sana, Madam Chairperson. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. Yeah, asante. It would be remiss of us, Excellency, PCS, for us not to have our sister State Department say something small, short, I therefore invite Mr. Barine to come and say something very small. It would be remiss of us not to acknowledge that the State Department for Foreign Affairs is represented. Karibu sana. Just some quick short remarks. Makofi tafadhali tumpatie moyo.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, and just in the interest of time, please permit me to stand on established protocols. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this is truly a big honor that I sat there quietly, hiding. Unfortunately, I think she has located me, but let me extend very deep apologies from my Principal Secretary, Dr. Sing'oei Koril, who is away on duty, and wishes you well. Perhaps the only thing to say is that these two State Departments are actually semen twins. They're not joined at the hip, they're joined at the heart. This whole process that has gone over has been developed collegially together, and we are hoping that we'll be able, both of us, to deliver. Because there's no line between the State Department of Diaspora Affairs and that of Foreign Affairs. The mission remains the same, the focus is one, and we have a great leadership. And with those few remarks, let me wish the State Department, the youngest in town, a very successful future. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. We recognize that we have Madam Aurelia Rono, PS. We share the same Cabinet Secretary. It would be remiss of us not to have you say something. At least just greet the people for 1 minute, and then we can proceed.
Okay, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, my colleague, PS Roseline, the Chair, Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers, Honorable Lydia, Honorable Major Bashir, the Vice Chair, the Committee on Foreign Intelligence and Foreign Relations, Defense Intelligence and Foreign Relations, the Diplomatic Corps, all protocols observed, good afternoon. Yes, it's a great pleasure and honor to stand before you this afternoon and witness the launch of the strategic plan for the State Department for Diaspora Affairs. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the State Department led by the able PS, my friend Roseline Njogu, and the great team of Diaspora Affairs for coming up with this very important document. As we know that this document guides or gives the roadmap for the State Department to deliver on its long-term and also short-term goals. So at this point, because I'm given 1 minute, I've seen the legislative, policy, and regulatory initiatives that the State Department have, and as a State Department for Parliamentary Affairs, we partner together, we work together to ensure that the policy initiatives and the legislative initiatives that they have are delivered. So because of time, I want to wish you the best and wish you success as you implement this great strategic plan to ensure that we deliver to our diasporians, we deliver to our great nation of Kenya. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Asante sana, 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 Madam PS. Our dear PS, Ms. Roseline Njogu, CBS, it is your moment to come and speak to us and tell us a little bit of how this journey has been, the sweat and the tears, the laughter and the crying, the wailing, the good times, the bad times. It is your moment to tell us something about the strategic plan. Karibu sana.
I promise not to wail or do any of those things. Thank you very much, Ambassador Helen Gishuhi. My boss, His Excellency, Honorable Dr. Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, Prime Cabinet Secretary, and my Waziri. Allow me also to stand on the protocols that have already been established and really just take a moment to thank you all for showing up. It is one thing to prepare a feast and have nobody show up. It is one thing to send out invitations, but it is another to have people actually come. So as I look out, I see a lot of colleagues, friends, people we have worked with over the years, and some new friends, and I'm grateful to have you all here. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for the remarks that have already been given by the Wajumbe who oversee us, Honorable Haika, Honorable Bashir, PS my sister, Ambassador Barine, the Dean, and my colleague Daniel Mwaura, who is the Director of Planning, who I really want to recognize together with your team for leading the charge on this project, and I really want to say congratulations. And if we can just extend a clap to the planning team at Diaspora Affairs. Asanteni sana. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official launch of the State Department for Diaspora Affairs Strategic Plan, as you've heard, 2023-2027. I'm very delighted and encouraged by your presence here today, as I have said, because it shows a deep commitment to our friendship and to the work that we do, and to the safety, to the welfare, to the well-being of the Kenyan diaspora. How does one begin to write a strategic plan? Or when you are given the mandate to set up a new department that cares for 4 million people dispersed across over 190 countries, how do you go about doing that job? What are the things that you think about? What are the things that you leave out? What are the things you choose to be your guiding light, the most important work that you do? How do you go about doing that? I have heard it said that if you're going to cut a very big tree, you need to spend, if you have 1 hour to cut a very big tree, you need to spend 50 minutes of that hour sharpening the axe. That is what I have been told. That is the planning part. That is what I think we've spent a lot of time doing, putting together this document. But some of the things that we chose to be our guiding light are they were here a few minutes ago, it was waving. But what we saw as important is to put people first and to put the protection of Kenyans first. So as you read this document that we have now, prepared, and I promise you, Honorable Haika, that it actually answers a lot of the questions that you have raised. We have done the work of ensuring that Kenyans in the diaspora are protected, and it is protection first. If you could have the house up, please. It is protection first. We lead with the people at our heart. So thank you so much to my boss, Prime Cabinet Secretary, not just for gracing this occasion, but I am indeed very grateful for your leadership on all matters diaspora. You're a committed leader, and you have grabbed this department and run with it. And I'm grateful for your support and for the work and the time that you put into this department. I also want to thank my brother Singoe, who's not here but represented today, because he is the big brother who took Diaspora Affairs under his wing and helped us to find our footing. So the growth of this department took a concerted effort, and we've needed to extend and have gotten support from the 3 to 4 million Kenyan diaspora across the globe. The responsibility of caring for 4 million people who are dispersed across the world, and not always in the same kinds of spaces and in geographies that have varying issues and concern, that responsibility is not lost on us. But we are also aware that within the region, we are one of very few countries that have a dedicated department that is charged with caring for the state, for its diaspora. As the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. So we recognize the leadership role that we are expected to play within this region and even globally in just influencing how governments going forward look at their diaspora and work with their diaspora and engage their diaspora and care for people who live far, far from them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our inaugural strategic plan since the inception, of course, of the State Department in December of 2022 and the expansion of our mandate shortly thereafter in 2023. As you've heard, it's been prepared in accordance with the guidelines from the State Department for Economic Planning and all of the various documents, whether it's be better, whether it be the AU Agenda 2063, and so on and so forth. And the strategic plan really pieces together our priorities towards protecting, engaging, empowering, and prospering our diaspora. And this is what we intend to do in the 2023 to 2027 period. And it talks about the key initiatives in achieving our mandate. And as Mr. Moore already spoke to us about, our key mandates really are 9, and they are to champion the protection and rights, the promotion of welfare for Kenyans abroad, to promote the continuous dialogue of Kenyans abroad, supporting Kenyans in the diaspora to harness more opportunities for employment and enterprise development, promote the participation of Kenya's diaspora in democratic processes in the country in liaison with other stakeholders, to develop an incentive framework for diaspora remittances, to harness diaspora savings, facilitate FDI and technology transfer, and working with the Ministry of Labor to implement the labor migration policy as well as the global labor market strategy to secure placement of Kenyans abroad in conjunction with the Ministry of Labor, and importantly to mainstream the Kenyan diaspora into the national development process. Since the inception of the State Department for Diaspora Affairs, we've made remarkable progress in implementing the Kenya Kwanza plan, especially the commitments made to the Kenyan diaspora. And Mr. Mora spoke about some of those milestones, and he spoke about work that had been done also by the diaspora and consular unit that predated the State Department for Diaspora Affairs. And as I look around, I recognize my dear friend, Ambassador Washington Olaw, who was for a long time the director in charge of diaspora and consular affairs when it was a unit, and unfortunately retired in the very early months of my term, and but has continued to be of great support. Asante sana, Balozi. So we've strengthened diaspora partnerships through high-level engagements, as you've heard, and I think over maybe 19 countries in the last almost 2 years during state and high-level visits. We've done evacuation and repatriation of over 1,500 Kenyans from various countries who are facing distress. And perhaps this is an important point to pause now, Excellency, and just maybe remind us or inform us that we are currently in the process of evacuating Kenyans from Lebanon, even as matters have continued to be a little unstable there, and the State Department for Diaspora Affairs continues to run that evacuation plan for Kenyans in Lebanon. We've provided mobile consular services to over 13,000 Kenyans in over 150 cities across many countries, and we have concluded negotiations on comprehensive migration and mobility agreements, most recently with Germany, and last week on Thursday with Austria as well, on the margins of UNGA. And we've supported the Ministry of Labor in the initiation of bilateral labor agreements among other countries such as the State of Qatar, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, ongoing conversations with Canada, and so on. We have done a number of migration projects such as the Mkulima Maju that has farmers moving to the UK, and we are currently working on other exciting projects including with the state of Nebraska, and partly why Laban is here. Maybe just to say, Excellency, that really in the last 2 years, the data from immigration says that our diaspora has grown by 180,000 people who are specifically moving for purposes of labor migration. So not students, not persons joining their families for family reunification, but labor migrants, properly speaking, or persons seeking diaspora jobs. That number has grown by 180,000 in the last 2 years. We've digitalized services. We have provided, working with the CBK, more diaspora-facing products. We've enhanced public participation by the diaspora on government policy and legislative frameworks through our public participation program, and so on. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, these initiatives have enhanced service delivery, really, to our diaspora and have boosted trust. I think one of the first things that Mr. Mora mentioned as one of the challenges that we found with our diaspora from the beginning is a lack of government trust. And as I have spoken with many persons across the world, and even some of the ambassadors and high commissioners here, diasporas lacking trust in their government seems to be an almost universal problem, where diasporas generally are a little cautious with their governments. And so the work that we have done has boosted trust and confidence in this government, and we have seen that impact even on things that you can measure, such as the growth in remittances. Excellency, in the last year alone, or in 2023, the remittances from diaspora rose to hit 4.18 billion US dollars, up from 4.02, I think, in the previous year. And I think we are on track to hit the high 4.9s for this year. Going forward, and as presented earlier by my planning team, the strategic plan of 2023-27 commits to enhance diaspora service delivery and their participation in national development through the 5 key result areas that Maura spoke about. What we are really looking to do here is to serve Kenyans where they are and to serve them well. Excellency, before I invite you to give us your remarks, let me say that one thing that probably was left out, and I know you're going to speak a little bit about this, is the fact that part of our policy work and part of our institutional framework work, yes, that is coming up is the sessional paper on the diaspora and foreign policy, and perhaps you will speak a little bit about that. And also, I know one of the things that is interesting and of importance to you is the diaspora bond, and I'm also looking forward to hearing that from you. So we have a great few years to look forward to in terms of the things that we are trying to do, very boldly moving to make some of these things done, but always leading with our heart and starting with the protection of Kenyans first. We protect, we engage, we empower, we prosper. At this juncture, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, guests, please join me in welcoming the chief guest, His Excellency the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, to make his remarks and officially launch the SDDA strategic plan. Karibu sana, Waziri Mkuu.
Please be seated. Good music, though. And your colleague, Aurelia Rono, the Honorable Lydia Haika, Chairperson of the Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers Committee of the National Assembly, the Honorable Major Bashir, Vice Chair of the Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee of the National Assembly, Your Excellency Bayane Rosam, Dean of the Diplomatic Corps and Ambassador of Eritrea to Kenya, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to join you today for the launch of the State Department for Diaspora Affairs Strategic Plan 2023 to 2027. This strategic plan is particularly important considering that it is the first for the State Department for Diaspora Affairs, which was established in January 2023. I wish to congratulate you, Madam PS, and your team for the hard work and enduring process that has made this achievement possible. The plan we are launching today is informed by the Constitution of Kenya and various policy and legal frameworks that emphasize planning as the basis for budgeting. It reaffirms the government's commitment towards strengthening partnerships with the diaspora, who are a central part of the Kenyan social fabric. The diaspora have and continue to play a major role in the country's socio-economic transformation. Besides remittances, the diaspora is a key source of skills, expertise, and technology transfer that are necessary ingredients for our economic transformation. Through the diaspora, Kenya is able to attract cutting-edge technologies and rare skills that may not be available locally. As a testament to the importance we place on our fast-growing and vibrant diaspora population, Kenya established the State Department for Diaspora Affairs 21 months ago. This has enabled the government to address the specific and peculiar needs of the Kenyan diaspora in different countries and regions. The strategic plan provides a holistic and robust framework for addressing diaspora-related issues with an emphasis on diaspora welfare as opposed to just remittances. Additionally, we have operationalized a 24-hour call center to ensure that our diaspora have access to prompt assistance regardless of where they are in the world. Taking advantage of the ever-growing digital space, we have also onboarded critical services for the diaspora on the eCitizen platform, making it easier for the diaspora to access government services seamlessly at any time from anywhere. We have made other key achievements, including the following: development of the Diaspora Policy 2024 to respond better to the needs of the diaspora, evacuation of Kenyans from high conflict areas in various parts of the world, including Sudan, Israel, Palestine, and now Lebanon is on the queue. Strengthened dialogue and partnership with the diaspora, creation of an enabling environment for diaspora investments, and developing a global labor market strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans abroad make direct investments locally, providing social support or creating an enabling environment for Kenyan exports. Their contribution is evident in various sectors of the economy, including education, health, housing, agriculture, tourism, and trade. It is worth noting that remittances grew to USD 2.8 billion from January to July 2024. That is just the first 6 months of this year, compared to 2.4 billion during a similar period in 2023. And a closer analysis of the trend over the past 7 months of 2024 points to a projected rise in annual estimates from 4.19 billion in 2023 to 4.8 billion US dollars in 2024, a remarkable 14.6% increase. This exponential growth puts the country on track towards sustaining the remittance target of Kenya shillings 1 trillion annually by the end of the strategic plan period in 2027. The increase in remittances not only enhances investments, but also helps to strengthen Kenya's balance of payments and reduce the Kenya shilling's vulnerability to external pressure. Basically, if for some reason the diaspora turned off the taps, our shilling would take a serious beating against other currencies. The strategic plan places the Kenyan diaspora at the core of government planning and acknowledges their role in enhancing the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and achieving the Kenyan Vision 2030. It also resonates well with various global, regional, and national development frameworks, including the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the African Union Agenda 2063, and the East African Community Vision 2050. Ladies and gentlemen, as the PS has stated, the government emphasizes the protection, engagement, empowerment, and prosperity of our diaspora. We are deliberate about protecting their rights and championing their welfare, creating an enabling environment for diaspora investments, skills, and technology transfer, and fostering a mutually beneficial and lasting relationship. One of the emerging issues affecting the diaspora's well-being is the portability of social benefits, including health and social security benefits. Whereas some diaspora Kenyans are ready to return home, they grapple with their social benefits tied to their host countries. If they leave, they lose the benefits. Perhaps it's time for the State Department to take up the leadership role in a conversation about a framework that will allow the diaspora to move back to their countries of origin comfortably. Facilitation of social benefits portability will allow the diaspora to migrate back safely and in an orderly manner in line with Article 22 of the Global Compact for Migration. Social benefits portability has key advantages, including reducing the cost of remittances and enabling access to mental health services for those returning home. On the cost of remittances, there has been lengthy discussions on the need to decrease costs associated with sending money from members of the diaspora back to their countries of origin. The focus is on the need to limit the cost of remittance to 3% of the value of the money transfer in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 10. Discussions include policies and initiatives that will ensure that fees, charges, and hidden costs that remittance service providers impose are kept at a minimum, thereby maximizing the amount of money that reaches the intended beneficiaries. The remittance costs remain high despite calls for reduction. For the viability of social benefits portability, the transaction costs must be reduced. I therefore encourage all stakeholders to join together in Kenya, regionally and globally, to bring the cost of remittances to the global target. The other issue tied to portability of social benefits is mental health. How, one might ask? This is a domain that has not always received the prominence it deserves, particularly in African societies where mental health remains a stigma and a taboo. We cannot ignore the profound impact that mental health has on the overall well-being and productivity of individuals, including those in the diaspora, more so for those who remain in the host country, not willingly, but because they cannot port their social benefits. Knowing that you can enjoy their social benefits even after returning home, will definitely give the diaspora the peace of mind to continue working, confident that should the time come to go back home, they will be able to do so in a humane, safe, and regular manner, and they will be cushioned. I therefore task the State Department of Diaspora Affairs to lead this conversation and to forge partnerships with countries that have a similar persuasion to negotiate for social benefits portability. The successful implementation of this strategic plan calls for concerned efforts and sound leadership, as well as effective monitoring and evaluation of results. Towards this end, my office commits to do the following: enhance diaspora trust and confidence by championing their welfare and protecting their rights, enhance the diaspora contribution to GDP growth through higher remittances, spearhead initiatives aimed at positioning Kenya as a global leader in skilled labor export, deepen collaboration and strategic partnerships with the diaspora, and also strengthen the policy, legal, and institutional framework underpinning diaspora affairs. I have no doubt that the State Department for Diaspora Affairs, supported by the parent Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, has the requisite capacity for effective implementation of this strategic plan. All stakeholders and partners present will in one way or the other contribute to effective delivery of its implementation and outcomes. We look forward to building a vibrant community that will support the government's agenda for deepening the contribution of the diaspora to Kenya's socio-economic transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just have an extra 2 or 3 minutes to emphasize one or two things. First, I really want to appreciate our colleagues from various countries and institutions for joining us here. This is very, very significant. In fact, I'm pleasantly surprised that the representation is this broad. Thank you for being here. It calls for us to share experiences, learn from each other, and focus on the areas that we can jointly target, as I have indicated in my remarks, to improve the whole environment around the diaspora, because we all have them. You have them, we have them. The globe is such that there's a lot of mobility amongst the human society. So we need to work together and improve on the various environments that we encounter. The second thing I may just want to touch on is something perhaps closer to home. Let me start with the bonds. I had an opportunity earlier, because we are beginning to work on a little more closely on the diaspora bond. I went to MIGA. This is one of the World Bank agencies, the multilateral investment guarantee agency of the World Bank. And we got talking, and they said that a more recent bond that they have is India. India has a very, very broad diaspora. And they floated a diaspora bond, and they were able to get over $5 billion from the diaspora. And in fact, they had to terminate at some point because it was really oversubscribed. And they could do a lot of things with that. So we want to be able to now actualize a Kenyan diaspora bond. Because according to the data that MEGA have, and according to the statistics I've given you, the Kenyan diaspora is now ripe because the quantum, the resources available, can now justify a diaspora bond. And this can go either into infrastructure, perhaps the debate we are having around how to develop Jomo Kenyatta Airport and expand it. This could be a candidate where we can mobilize diaspora resources to partner with other private sector resources and actually fund this piece of infrastructure. We could do the same, perhaps for key artery roads like the Mao Summit to Malaba border. We can raise infrastructure bonds and direct resources to this area. So let us broaden our engagement and our conversation, because for those who have had the opportunity to travel a lot and see the exposure, let us not continue living in a fool's paradise in Kenya. The truth is that if you went to West Africa today, whether you're landing in Ghana or you're landing in Togo, or you went to Addis, or you went to Rwanda, ladies and gentlemen, their airports have overtaken Jomo Kenyatta Airport. We are spending too much time, and yet others are running. This is just one message that I want to really put into this debate. The numbers aside, but the fact is that we now must invest in a new airport. So we can deal with the numbers, we can deal with the debate, we can have those arguments, but let's not lose focus that we need to actually upgrade our facilities. The other thing that I may want to quickly share with you is that a few days ago, we left the New York conferences and I took a trip to West Virginia at the invitation of some Kenyans, doctors actually, medical experts. And we went to West Virginia, Morgantown, where they have partnered with the University of West Virginia. These Kenyans, with their enterprise called Unigen, have taken over a pharmaceutical setup in West Virginia. And through their expertise, they have started producing a pharmaceutical product for sickle cell disease, which is soluble so that a baby of 9 months old or 5 years or whatever can now have access to sickle cell disease medication, which is very expensive, and it's a big killer in this part of the world as well for young people. They rarely go beyond 5 years. Now, these Kenyans have actually invested, and then they have used their brain power, and they have produced this medicine. Amazing. There is a Dr. Charles Otieno. There is a Dr. Wycliffe. There is from Kisii. There is another doctor who is also very well schooled in matters of drug administration, working with the Federal Drug Agency. And they all came together with others. And they're also partnering, I saw, with people from Zimbabwe and other African countries, and they have put this consortium together. and they're now producing medicine which is going to be on the shelves of Kenya by Kenyans in the United States, bringing it here for the region to help people. So it is real that this is now a very critical constituency. It cannot afford, we cannot afford to ignore it. Let me touch on another one. What about the diasporans who are involved in peacekeeping? When I went to Namibia, they remember with a lot of fond memories General Opande, because he led the peacekeeping effort there, and he was able to assist them transit from the colonial dilemma of Southern Africa and then through to the election. Now they are independent. And in Namibia, there are a lot of doctors, there are a lot of Kenyans who are helping set up medical schools, medical departments in their universities. Today, we have Kenyans in Haiti. For as long as they are there, they're in the diaspora. They are keeping peace. We have Kenyans, part of the ATMIS in Sudan, in Somalia, working with the Sudanese government, Somalian government. They are there to keep peace. Don't forget, these are Kenyans in the diaspora. So there are multiple angles to what Kenyans in the diaspora can do, working with the rest of the international community. And this is why I just want to emphasize that this is an area that we need to spotlight. And that is why PS Njogu was telling you that we want to move a notch higher. We want to make sure that Kenya's foreign policy and diaspora policy does not remain a document which is the preserve of the executive. No. We want Kenyans to own this. We want Kenyans to participate in having a say in where we go. And this is why, for the first time, we are on the road to make sure that for the first time, Kenya's parliament will actually debate a sessional paper covering Kenya's foreign policy and the diaspora policy, so that they can be engaged, they can be involved. We were amazed, but pleasantly so, although it was a rude shock, when the diaspora, the Gen Z were in town, and they said they don't know why a president travels out of the country. That is a very serious statement as to where we have been with our foreign policy, with our engagements. Because the young people want to know, what do you do? Do you just board a plane and disappear? What is it? What is there for the Kenyans in all these foreign and diplomatic engagements? We must answer that question. And to answer that question, it is time the Parliament engaged fully with our foreign policy. What is it all about? What is it all about? Does it get us to incur more debt, or does it help us settle debt? Is it giving us an opportunity to bring in foreign direct investment, or are we chasing away foreign direct investment? What are we doing? Now, these are fundamental questions that must be answered and must be owned by the people of Kenya. And Parliament is the institution that represents the people of Kenya. And therefore, that discourse must be there. And in the process, we shall have broader ownership and understanding of where we want to go as a nation today and in the future, and how to grow our investments. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I should share those few remarks with you, and it is now my pleasant duty to officially launch the strategic plan. Thank you.
Excellency, we are going to have a countdown to the launch of our strategic plan, and because the State Department for Diaspora Affairs embraces digital space, we have a QR code for the strategic plan. So 5, 4, not yet. We could have had some music as we count down. 5, 4, the curtains should be opening. 3, yes, but 3, 2, 1. Please have the copies for the PCS to present the copies. Karibu, karibu. Yes. Our QR code for the strategic plan. Could we stand nicely and have a photograph maybe a bit this way? A copy please, one more copy of the plan. There we go. Okay, photo please. Thank you. Could we have the diplomatic corps, or maybe that would be a bit crowded. The directors, please, from the State Department for Diaspora Affairs. Can we move a bit to the middle so that it is balanced? The directors, please hurry up. So, Excellency, we would want for you to be at the middle, please, if that is okay. The directors, please join quickly so we take a photograph before we have. There is a lot of space this other side. There's a lot of space this other side. There's a lot of space. Even me lazima. Are we all inside?
You have a copy?
Or do we need to go to the... Is that okay now? Could we please request the diplomatic corps to join us down here such that we have one group photograph with the diplomatic corps, if they can be down here? Yes. We recognize the presence of the Kenya School of Government. Could the rest please leave the stage so we only have the diplomatic corps? The diplomatic corps, some of you can come up. Yes, but for everyone. The rest of the photographs, we shall take them outside. So can we please have the, could we spread out please? please spread out a little bit and move a bit closer? We are not seeing some. Yes. Iko sawa? Thank you very much. Excellency, I request you please take your seats for the vote of thanks. The photograph with the staff of the State Department for Diaspora Affairs will be taken outside. Ambassador Kabera.
I have my remarks gone. Huh? They are long.
They're long.
I don't know what they've gone. Seriously.